Hi, today we're going to be talking about how to properly place a hold in Sierra. But first we're going to review the three types of records, and then we're going to walk through placing a title hold, an item hold, and a volume hold. So just to get started, there are three types of records in Sierra. There's a bibliographic record, an item record, and a volume record. So first we're going to use Bleach, the graphic novel, as our example. So under keyword search, we're going to say Bleach, and we are in the Search Holds module. So when you first enter in Bleach, you will get quite a few results, and we're going to scroll down past the DVDs into the book record that has over 1,000 items attached. This is the one we want because it shows a great illustration of the three types of holds, the three types of records, in order to get the holds specifically that we're looking for. So we can double click the record we've highlighted, or in this case we're going to just highlight it with one click and say select. There we go. And so this screen that we see initially is the one that by default is what we get after clicking through at the search results. What I want to show you right now is the bibliographic record. So I'm going to ask you to click the View Record button in the top right corner. And this is the bibliographic record. So all records begin with the bibliographic record. The information within the bibliographic record is the same for all the items that are attached. And so by clicking View, we've seen the bibliographic record, which we're looking at right now. And so it has information about standard numbers. It also includes the author and the title, the publishing information, the fact that it is a graphic novel. It also has information about the types of content it has. So it gives you clues that since this is a Japanese format, you're going to be reading from back to front and from right to left, which is typical for several mangas and graphic novels from Japan. And so this is your bibliographic record. That's your starting point from a library perspective. This is the starting point for all the items in the collection. So then if we click Summary again, we will get back to this view that we're used to. And I want to show you also that since this is a graphic novel series with multiple books in its series, this is an example of volumes being utilized in Sierra. So we have volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. You will notice too that at the top there's a spot for miscellaneous. MISC stands for miscellaneous. This is sort of a holding in case wacky stuff happens and the volumes aren't linked, the items aren't linked properly to volumes. They can go in miscellaneous. Remember not to place holds on miscellaneous because you don't know what you'll receive. But essentially this is a way that we can explain why there's 72 lines but 71 volumes. That first line is for the placeholder of miscellaneous. You can also see the difference because the volume records, like volume 68 here, there's no barcode attached because it's a volume record is created and attached to the bibliographic record when the item is divided into more than one part, such as in DVD and Blu-ray sets, or also for magazines and graphic novels. Not all bibliographic records will have a volume attached to it. And the easiest way to determine if it has a volume record attached is to view the summary page. So, as we were saying before, we're looking at volume 68. There is no barcode in the barcode column. The values are the specific V and then the number of the volume that we have in place. They might say disc 1 through 2. They might say volume 68, volume 70. It might say December 2018. Probably December 2017, since we're recording this in the winter of 2018. But this is an indication that you need to say hold selected volume. for your patron. This is something that shows that you need to do a volume level hold in order to ensure that they get the item that they want. Now, the third type of record is the item record. Individual records are created for each item. So for example, if we click through, Clinton Township has volume 1 of bleach, and this is their particular item record for that book. It shows you the call number, it shows you its barcode, it tells you that it's linked to volume 1. It also gives statistical data as far as how many times it's been checked out and when it was last checked in. Now you will have an item record for each item that exists in your collection. So kind of a good way to remember is that every item will have a bibliographic record and an item record, and some items will also have a volume record. And so that's just kind of a helpful way to think it through and to analyze that. So we're also going to show you, we have it in a different diagram form to make it a little easier to understand, because it's kind of a lot to wrap your head around. So we've created a document, Anatomy of a Record, and basically it just boxes it in to write it out what we've said already. The bibliographic record, I'll just read it to you. All records begin with a bibliographic record. The information in the bibliographic record is the same for all the items attached. So that's what we were talking about, that the author's the same, the title's the same, the publisher is the same. That information is the bibliographic record. Now, for a volume record, not all bibliographic records will have a volume record, but volume records are created and attached to the bibliographic record when an item is divided into more than one part. So multi-part DVDs or DVD Blu-ray sets. In the case of magazines, to differentiate between January 2018 and November 2017. And then graphic novels. So as we looked at with Bleach, volume 1 is different than volume 34, different than volume 68. There's different content based on which volume that you request. And then the third type of record is the item record. So the individual record that is created for each item. And every single item in the catalog will have its own item record, because that's how we keep track of the data as far as who has it checked out, when it was checked out last, how much it cost to purchase and replace it. All those details, those are included in the item record for each individual item. And another way to visualize this is to, if you let me scroll down a little bit, we have an additional graphic for you to see. So for the records that do not have volumes, all of the item records are directly attached to the bibliographic record. And if we go down a bit further, for records that do have volumes, all of the volume records are attached to the bibliographic record, and all the item records are attached to the volume record. So if we scroll back up, that's just one more way for you to visualize it. Okay. So if this sounds good to you guys, we're going to close out of Bleach, and we are going to move on to holds. But for the moment, we are just going to refresh and to say that all records, again, will start with the bibliographic record. It's kind of, think of it as an umbrella. And so then if records don't have a volume, like for the new Grisham, and so if we do John Grisham, and I'm going to just get it down a little bit smaller, 2017. So for his newest, The Rooster Bar, you can see here that if we select the Rooster Bar for John Grisham, you can notice that at the top it jumps right into the barcodes. And so that shows us that there are not volumes attached to this bibliographic record. It is simply the bibliographic record up in the view, it tells us John Grisham's the author, the rooster bar is the title, it gives us publisher and information and the description of how many pages it has. Then we go back into summary. There we go. And it pops right into the barcodes. So this is a useful tool to kind of differentiate and say, okay, there is no volume linked to this bibliographic record. It's simply the item records and the bibliographic record. And again, just to refresh, oops, if I can type, bleach is, again, gonna be, it takes a little longer because there's so many things attached, so do be patient with these multi-volume things. It jumps right in, and you can again see that in the barcode column, there is no barcode initially. It says volume 1, volume 2, so on and so forth. Now, just in case you accidentally are trying to choose a volume, like you mean to say volume 66 and you accidentally click on the barcode column itself, it will change how it looks. The sorting will modify, and so at the top you'll have lost, temporarily, you'll have lost your volumes. But there is a way to get it back, just in case. This happens to folks all the time, so no worries. You just click the back browse button. You get back to your search results, and then if you double click it again, and be patient, it will get you back to the default screen. And so you've got your volumes back again. So just as a reassurance that there are different ways to work around it. Okay, so we've gone over the 3 types of records, and thank you so much for your time. In the next video, we will look at how to place holds for these different types of records. Thank you.